I was recently gifted the NearHub Go frame. It's been a few weeks. I want to do a follow-up on what my thoughts and what my family thinks about this frame, as there are pros and cons. Now, there are some things I absolutely love about this, some things I'm not as big a fan of, and I definitely think it has very specific application. So let me get into all of that. Now, for what I do love, I love how vibrant the colors are. It really is just beautiful. And I actually really like the air monitoring. I've tested it next to other air monitoring devices I have, and they do match up. So that is really nice. I also like just how easy it is to add photos and videos that I can invite others. So friends and families can add to this, or if you were in an office setting, you could have a few people in the office be allowed to add or remove photos from the frame. Things like that. Really nice and clean. It also has some great adjustments in the settings. I can have that environmental monitor show or not. You can always swipe up on the side to get to the full monitor or not. And these swipes are kind of these purple swipes. The side swipe will take you to and from the monitor or give you details. And the top swipe is going to go between images or videos. And I do like that I can control the timing of when it goes through images, how fast, how slow, and I can choose whether or not it auto plays the videos. That's all really nice. It's a very clean, solid, durable frame. And the last thing I love is that this has 32 gigabytes of built-in storage. So no SD cards to deal with, no cloud storage subscriptions to deal with. This has it all built in. That's really cool. Now let me get into a few of the things I don't like about it. Now I first want to start by saying that I did tell the brand about some of my issues with it, and most of these they can fix in the software, so there's a very good chance that these will be corrected. But one of my primary issues with it is that it never goes all the way dark. So when it's nighttime, it's going to dim, but it'll still be a pretty bright light in your room. So if it's in your bedroom, you're always going to have this glowing frame in your room. And I do wish that it would turn all the way off when it's dark out and then be adaptive when it's light out. I also wish, specifically for residential situations, but even if you were in a commercial situation, that you could schedule when it turns on and off. Maybe you do not want it running at all after 5 in the afternoon. Maybe you just want to make sure that it's always going to turn off right before bed. To be able to schedule that would be really, really nice. And I think that's a key feature that's missing right now. And then the other complaint I have is that most of my photos are live photos, meaning they're almost like little videos. They're just very quick blips. But because of that, it treats them like a movie, and so it doesn't adapt to whether it's portrait or landscape. So this would look great in portrait mode as a picture, but not in landscape mode. It's going to have the black on both sides. It's treating it like a video. Whereas if you give it a static photo, whether it's portrait or landscape, it will actually flip to the other mode, and you can use the app to set where it centers on. So you have a lot of control with static photos. That's really nice. So this might not even be a complaint as much as an FYI that you do want to pay attention to what you're adding to the frame. And with that, when it comes to videos, you are limited to 15-second videos, but it is pretty cool that it can play videos too. And there is one more thing I want to show about this NearHub Go, and that's that before you plug it in, you'll see that it has this USB-C port here. And I was very confused about that because the manual doesn't say anything about it. So I did ask the brand about that, and they say that's not for us, the end user, at all. That is just for the developers to set up the frame to begin with. So that is why it is hidden under this power plug. It's not for you, just a heads up. And then the last piece I want to talk about is more of a consideration, and that's really the design of this. I think this is much better for commercial use. Think school, office, lobby, anywhere where you want a really nice commercial frame. It's just a bit wider, and these purple lines and just the design of it don't say residential to me, they say commercial to me. So with the air monitoring and this wider design, I really do think this is better for an office than a home. And I do think that makes sense because NearHub mostly makes office like bulletin boards and big screens, interactive elements that are designed for business. So I do think that their first frame makes sense, that it's more business focused, and I think it would be perfect in that application. And in that application, the concerns I have with it aren't as concerning because it won't matter as much if it's running at night, if that office is closed and no one's in it. And with the images, your images would probably be very commercial and adapted to portrait or landscape anyway. So if you are using this for a commercial setting, it's probably perfect as is. If you're using it for residential, you may want to consider some of my concerns. With that, I do think it's a great frame, and I'm grateful NearHub gifted it to me so I could show you what I think about it. The NearHub Go.